All right, welcome back to Interviews from the Gruppetto. It is March 14th today. Got a couple twists today. Number one, I've got some video, which I'm recording, and I'm gonna create a YouTube channel so you can check out the video if you want to check things out. And I'm sure this is my home office. This is my wife's home office also, so I'm sure we're gonna see all kinds of things here that you're gonna find interesting. Actually, as you see this beer right here, yeah, I'm sipping on that. So anyway, like I said, it's March 14th. I do not have an interview this week. This is a bridge segment. We'll call it a bridge segment to my next interview. And I'm going to talk about that, the interview that I hope to have sometime in the near future. But we're going to talk about a lot of things today. So as I come to you, a lot has happened since this past Wednesday of this past week, and that was Wednesday was the evening when the President of the United States got on national television and talked about a travel, not a ban, but a travel, some suppression of travel, a ban of Europeans coming to America, and then a suppression of travel of Americans returning to the U.S. if they were going to Europe. So essentially, in a nutshell, what that did was that killed the USA Cycling National Under 23 program for the foreseeable future. So our spring trip was supposed to commence on the 29th of this month at Ghent Wevelgem at the Under 23 Nations Cup there and continue until the 2nd of May. So I was supposed to leave for Europe somewhere around the 20th. Get there, riders come in, we get organized, and then we start racing. We had 5 or 6 one-days and 2 stage races lined up. But then about 3 weeks ago, we started some discussions once this new virus kind of took over Italy about canceling the junior women's program, which we ultimately did. And that was Maury Holden's decision, and it was the correct decision for sure. And then as we got closer, we were starting to talk about whether we should end the junior or under 23 programs in Europe. And ultimately, as of Wednesday night, that's what we did. So my world kind of got turned upside down a little bit. Then in the next 48 hours, things just really picked up. And most of you who are listening to this already know what's happened. There were professional leagues have been shut down. Cycling in and of itself has been completely shut down globally. There's a few events happening, one of which I'm going to talk about in a bit. And generally we're on lockdown. And then as of today, there's talking about a travel ban or a travel suppression here within the United States itself. So things are not getting better, they're getting worse, at least for the time being. I've been doing a lot of research on this virus, the coronavirus, and trying to figure out what the best way to go for my family is. My son's school is now shut down for the next 30 days. And for those parents out there, I don't even need to explain to you how troublesome this can be. So yeah, we're in a very weird place. I will say today and over the last couple days, I've been watching very intently Paris-Nice, which is probably the last bike race we're going to see for a while. But I really got to hand it to the riders and teams that completed the race. The final stage is not happening tomorrow, but they made 5 stages. And it was a very, very exciting race, even though not every team was there. It was an extremely exciting race. I really enjoyed watching it every morning. And Schachmann, the German Schachmann from Bora, he ended up winning the GC. Schachmann was a real under 23 hitter when I was running the under 23 team previously. It is no surprise that he is winning races like this because he was a superstar back then. Nero Quintana won the final mountain stage today. And then the revelation of the race was Thies Benoot from Sunweb. And Sunweb in general probably was the team of the race. They had a great race. And I mean, Michael Matthews yesterday getting second on a mountain stage. I mean, incredible for his first race of the year. Absolutely incredible. So if you haven't seen it, please go and watch it. I think you can watch it on NBC, but I'll give you a secret. Most of you already know this. You can for sure watch it on Tiz Cycling, T-I-Z Cycling. So if you need to get the pirate hack, you can go to Tiz, and I support them because I get most of my feeds from them. So as far as racing goes, we're in a shutdown, but there was a couple of events that actually did happen today, and one of those events was the Mid-South Gravel Race, which happened today, and I actually had one of my premier coaching clients. She's now a very good friend of mine. Many of you have, over last few weeks, have probably read or heard her name, Kristen Faulkner, out of the Bay Area. She rides for Tibco. She and I went to do the Grasshopper Super Sweetwater a couple of weeks ago, which was an all pavement version this year, and she rocked it. She won the women's race. I flatted. I did not have a great day. I was still, excuses be known, I was still recovering from that horrible virus that I had last month, but I just wasn't that good, so no problem. But it's a great event. I love the Grasshopper and events, and as a matter of fact, look at this. For those who can see on video, this is the Grasshopper hat, which I got from Sportful Clothing Company. Awesome hat. This is now my favorite hat. I love green, as you can see from my sweatshirt. And for those listening to the podcast, I have forest green is my new color. I'm a huge forest green fan. I don't think there's enough green in this world. So anyway, great event, the Grasshopper events. More events hopefully will happen in the coming weeks. They have, you can check their website out, grasshopperadventure.com, I believe is their website. But going back to the Mid-South race, today was the Mid-South. If you saw, and if you haven't seen, I suggest you go to their Instagram page, because the video, it was more of a Tough Mudder than it was a gravel race. But an incredible, absolutely incredible ride from what I could see. It was raining. It was ultra muddy. It was cold. Kristen told me that it was really, really cold yesterday. She had a great ride today. She finished today, which for a gravel race, her first gravel race of this season, this was probably the hardest one she's going to do all year. So her fitness was pretty good. She had a great day today. I'm super proud of her. And she's a name that you're going to hear a lot in the future. And again, she rides for Tibco. The winner of the event, the overall winner, was Payson McElvin. He finished in 6 hours 23, so not an easy day. Colin Strickland, the gravel legend, was second, and he was at 6:32. And then local Nevada City resident Jonathan Baker, Old Man Baker, he finished in 6:34. And John Baker and I ride for a little club here in town on the road, the Touchstone guys. So he was out there not representing us. I think he's got a different setup for gravel. And then Pete Stetna, I think Pete had a mechanical, because when I saw the live Velo News video that was coming through, he was in third or maybe second. He was in second. That was just past halfway. So he must have had a mechanical. And I think I saw a picture of him on the side of the deep clay mud road where he was dealing with a mechanical. So it sounded like maybe he had a mechanical. So those were the two events that were happening today. I don't know what to say about local racing or even national racing or even international racing. Gosh knows when it's gonna start up again. But man, we are living in some strange times, very strange times. Let me say that for those of you who are interested, Ashton Lemby, who just recently got a silver medal at the World Track Championships. He was at the Mid-South, and I think he dropped out at a halfway. I think I saw a post from him saying that he just didn't have the legs. After, excuse me, you're not going to get corona via the airwaves or video, but I did cough into my arm, as you saw. Anyway, Lemby, he dropped out at halfway. I think he didn't have the legs today, so no problem. It looked like a completely epic event. So anyway, here we go, moving forward. So as it stands right now, most of the American racing has been postponed or canceled. Right now, Joe Martin is hanging on. And there may be some news from USA Cycling concerning Joe Martin and participation. We may be trying to take a national team to Joe Martin, but that's still to be determined. And clearly, if the race doesn't happen, there will be no national team going there. But we're talking about it, and we're going to try to make it happen. So anyway, that's where the national team stands. That's where pro racing stands. I think we're all on a hiatus for a while. The weather here in Northern California has turned to winter again. They are experiencing heavy snows in the mountains. And I was actually planning on going skiing tomorrow, but of course, as I maybe expected, the ski resorts have been shut down. So there is no skiing to be happened. The ski resorts were officially closed. At least most of them were closed today for the next week. Some, I think, possibly longer than a week. We will see what happens. But all I can say is, it's a really weird time. There was a lot of discussion. The local racing that was supposed to happen here in NorCal was one of the most attended events. The Bariani road race, which was supposed to be tomorrow, the Land Park Criterium Part 2 for the year, was supposed to happen today. They were trying to make it happen. There was a lot of mixed emotions on social media about whether it should happen or shouldn't happen. Ultimately, they canceled the event, which is probably ultimately the right thing to do. But man, just a real difficult situation for all of those people involved. And in fact, the president of the club, the Sacramento Golden Wheelman, that was putting that event on, Greg Rowe, he was on our podcast, episode number 2, I believe, several months ago. And I think it was just really stressful time for him as a local club trying to promote one of the most popular events of the year. So unfortunately for him, it just didn't happen. So that's just really, really unfortunate. Outside of that, we're just going to have to wait and see where it goes, and everybody's going to have to go back to indoor racing or indoor training or outdoor training, and we're just going to make the most of it. So, like I said, this episode is just a bridge to my next interview. I didn't want to leave so much dead air time. I wanted to have a little discussion about what has happened and what is happening. Everybody has a view about what is happening with this coronavirus, whether it's politically or locally or functionally. It's really unfortunate we're in this position. I'm not going to give my personal views on it. It's just very disappointing, the time that we're in. My whole world has kind of been turned upside down with no under 23 program, but I believe all of those riders have returned from Europe safely. I've touched base with many of the World Tour riders in Europe right now, and they're hungered down and they're given locales, they're European locales, whether it's Girona or Nice. That seems to be the two places where most of them are located. And they all seem to be in really good spirits. So I think everybody's disappointed, but accepting the way it is and just moving forward. So that's about it. So I appreciate everybody joining me on this super abbreviated edition. I hope to have an interview for you in the next 10 days to post. If you have any questions or comments, please go ahead and email me at mike@gruppettocs.com. The video is a new thing. I'm going to try to keep that going. I hope you enjoy that, and I'm going to put that on a YouTube channel. So outside of that, that's pretty much it for this week. Everybody stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourself, wash your hands, do all those things that those very educated doctors and medical professionals are suggesting. I will say, if you're really interested in hearing a very well-informed interview about the coronavirus, Joe Rogan just recently had an interview with a medical professional, a guy who chases these kind of like viruses, these mega viruses. It was very informative. At least I thought it was very informative. It's a long forum interview for sure. It's like 1 hour, 45 minutes, but a lot of really good information there. And this guy was way ahead of the curve way back in the day. He saw this coming, and I think he had a lot of really good insight. That's just my opinion. Anyway, it does have some really good information in there. Take a listen. And outside of that, I appreciate everybody for joining me this week. I hope you enjoy the video. Let me know, and we will see you or talk to you in the near future.